You've probably heard of Bushido, the Samurai Code. It's often sold as this ultimate path to discipline. But what if I told you the code you think you know is, well, a modern invention? In this explainer, we're going to uncover the surprising truth behind Bushido and pull out 5 timeless principles you can actually use to build real discipline in your life today.
Yeah, that popular image, the ancient warriors living by some unchanging mystical code. It's not the whole story. The reality is way more complex. You see, the meaning of Bushido has changed dramatically throughout history. So the real question isn't just what Bushido is, it's which Bushido are we even talking about?
So, on one side, you have that romantic picture, right? An ancient, unwritten code passed down for generations. But then, you look at what historians say, and the view is startlingly different. They argue the Bushido we know is actually a pretty new invention, one that was profoundly shaped by Western ethics and was designed for a very specific purpose: nation building. And here's the real kicker. The book that defined Bushido for the entire world was written decades after the last samurai ever laid down his sword. Now, don't get me wrong, warrior ethics definitely existed, but the philosophy we call Bushido was put down on paper for a completely different reason long after the Age of Warriors was already over.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the birth of modern Bushido. Then we'll dive into 5 core principles: sincerity, courage, justice, control, and benevolence. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by showing you how to forge this into a practical framework for building discipline right now.
All right, let's jump into that surprising history. Because to really understand the power of these principles, you first have to understand the moment they were formalized for the modern world, and the very strategic reason why.
This timeline really says it all. Check out the year 1868. The samurai class is officially abolished. Gone. Now, jump forward more than 30 years to 1899. This is when Inazanu Nitobe publishes Bushido, the Soul of Japan. And here's the most crucial detail. He wrote it in English for a Western audience. It was a piece of cultural diplomacy designed to explain Japan's ethical soul to the world. And it only became a phenomenon in Japan after it was translated and re-imported.
This philosophy is what scholars call Meiji Bushido. In the late 19th century, Japan was modernizing like crazy, and it needed to prove to the West it had more than just industrial might. It needed to show it had a spirit of civilization. Nitobe's genius was framing traditional Japanese values in a language the West would understand and respect, drawing parallels to things they already valued, like the Victorian true gentleman and the British idea of fair play. So how does this history lead to a modern code of conduct? Well, while the packaging of Bushido was modern, the virtues Nitobe chose have deep cultural roots. Let's start with the 2 that form the foundation for all the others: sincerity and courage.
The first principle is Makoto, or sincerity. The idea here is simple. Your words and your actions are one and the same. For a warrior, a promise wasn't just a promise, it was a statement of fact. Nitobe argued this is why samurai didn't need written contracts. Their word was their bond. It's about an unwavering commitment to truth and authenticity.
In modern life, sincerity is all about radical transparency, building trust through direct, honest communication instead of hiding behind corporate jargon. This leads us naturally to the second principle, you, or courage. And here, Nitobe makes a crucial distinction, quoting Confucius: "To see what is right and not do it is a lack of courage." So we're not talking about just physical bravery. We're talking about moral courage, the discipline to act on your principles, especially when it's hard. Now we've arrived at the absolute cornerstone of this philosophy. If sincerity and courage are the engine for our actions, then this third principle, justice, is the unshakable compass that gives them direction.
This is Gin, or Rectitude. Nitobe called it the bony frame of Bushido, the virtue that gives all the others their structure and integrity. This isn't about blindly obeying external rules. It's about building an internal, unwavering power to decide on a course of action based on reason, and then to see it through without hesitation. This is the very definition of a disciplined mind.
Think of G as your non-negotiable personal code. In a professional context, this shows up as ethical leadership that values integrity over short-term profits. Personally, it's the discipline to stick to your principles even when no one is watching. It's the strength not only to ask what's the right thing to do, but to actually act on the answer, no matter the cost.
The last 2 principles create this crucial balance between our internal world and our external world. The first is about mastering the self through control. The second is about using that mastery to serve others through benevolence.
The fourth principle is Kokki, or self-control. The characters literally mean to conquer oneself. This is all about mastering your own impulses, emotions, and desires. And what's fascinating is how this is a universal human goal. The concept is remarkably similar to Western Stoic philosophy, which also emphasizes mastering your inner state to stay calm and act rationally regardless of what's happening around you.
In our world today, the main battleground for self-control is often digital. Practicing Kokki can be as simple as turning off distracting notifications so you can do deep work. It's the discipline to resist the constant pull of the attention economy and choose what you give your focus to. It's about conquering your own impulses for a bigger long-term goal.
The fifth and final principle is Jin, or benevolence, which Nidobe considered the highest virtue of them all. And here, that Western influence we talked about earlier becomes crystal clear. The ideal of a compassionate warrior is a direct mirror of the Victorian concept of the true gentleman, someone whose strength is shown through their high character and morality. Nidobe brilliantly framed this gentle virtue as an essential part of the samurai spirit.
In a modern context, benevolence isn't weakness. It's a sign of immense strength and confidence. A leader who practices Jin doesn't rule by fear, but by support. They mentor their team, they give constructive feedback, and they create an environment where other people can grow. It's the discipline to use your power to lift others up. So, we started by deconstructing a myth, and now we've rebuilt a practical, modern philosophy from its core virtues. Let's bring all 5 of these principles together into a clear, actionable plan you can use to build discipline starting today.
So this is the framework, the 5 pillars of a disciplined life, drawn from the true history of Bushido. Act with sincerity. Have the moral courage to do what is right. Let justice be your unwavering compass. Exercise self-control over your impulses. And finally, use your strength for benevolence.
But of course, knowledge without action is meaningless. So here's a simple plan. First, define your justice. Write down one core professional or personal value you will always uphold. Second, practice self-control. Schedule just 15 minutes of tech-free time each day to reclaim your focus. And third, perform an act of benevolence. Find one opportunity this week to help a colleague or mentor someone. So, whether you see it as an ancient code or a modern construct, the power of these principles is undeniable. They provide a clear roadmap to a life of integrity and discipline. The only question left is, which of these principles resonates most with the challenges you're facing in your life right now? If this explainer was useful, subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments which principle you chose. In our next one, we'll be looking at what ninja intelligence techniques can teach us about modern data strategy. Thanks for watching.